Hello everyone and welcome to the Trade Ideas Live Trading Room Recap for April 22nd, Friday, April 22nd. My name is Barry Anderson. I'm the moderator of our trading room. This is the address to get into the room. It's a free room. You do not have to be a member of Trade Ideas to participate. I share my screen all day long, and I'm live on the mic between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. If you'd like to take out a subscription to Trade Ideas, this is the link to use. We still have a promo code that is good till 11:30 tonight Eastern Time. The promo code is Holly, Holly 420, and that's Holly, all caps, Holly 420, and that's the promo code to be used until Friday tonight at about 11:30 Eastern Daylight Time. All right, well, kind of a very, very interesting day. I thought it was going to be a bit of a snoozer, but it turned into be pretty exciting. So now just do want to talk about a couple of losers I had. I had Foot Locker and PWR. They were a couple of early losers. Thought the day was going to set up not too well for me. I Again, they were early losers. I think Foot Locker was from Holly. I was in at 1691 and got out at 6084. PWR was one from the RBIs and got in at 2332 and I was out at 2335, or excuse me, 25. So no harm. Again, the market was down today, so it was a little bit hard to take those early long trades. So I probably should have not done that. Now, here is the trade, and this was kind of goofy because I actually made a mistake on this one. Went long on a TRN and at 2004, and let me just see why I did that. I think this was again from an RBI on the fives, but it doesn't really matter because what happened is I got into this trade right about here. We were watching this to see if it would break 20. The second time, this is a 15-minute these are 15-minute candles, but on the 5-minute it popped up and down, and then on the second time I decided to go long this trade. So I was in here at 2004 actually, and it popped up a little bit, but then it started moving down, and I actually exited the trade at 1996. So all's good, another small loss, not too bad. What I did though, accidentally in my brokerage platform, just for argument's sake, let's say they say I had 200 shares of this, and when I exited it, instead of putting 200 in, let's just say I put 400 in. So what my platform does is it takes me out of the position, sells my position, which I wanted to do, the 200 shares, but then it automatically creates a short position of 200 shares. And I didn't even realize it. I mean, this happens to me every now and then, a little bit distracted sometimes. And because I was looking at my P&L and I couldn't understand why I was positive for TRN. And then I looked and I thought, oh my gosh, I've actually created a short position also. Once I exited my long position, it automatically created a short position because I exited more shares than I actually had, if that makes sense. Anyway, the bottom line, it turned out fabulously because look what happened. It went all the way down to this level here, and I got out covered at 1934, 1950, and 1951. So it actually turned out remarkably well. And I was actually saying in the room that would probably happen more times than not because while you're getting out of a position, you're basically you went long and now you're getting out of the position because it's going against you, and 9 times out of 10 it probably keeps going against you for a while anyway. I mean, it probably wouldn't just bounce immediately. So by creating an immediate short position in this is maybe not the worst thing. Anyway, that is definitely not stock trading 101. I don't recommend doing it. It just happened to work out for me very well. Now let's get to the star of the day, SRPT. This one, this actually, I got the alert here at 1186. Now I didn't take the trade right there. Now if you remember SRPT yesterday, let's just take a look at the daily chart, and you can see it just got crushed yesterday. It closed at 1972 on Wednesday, and then got all the way down to 1050. I mean, almost cut in half. And then I had put an alert. You'll notice here, I hope you can see this little green line. Now that was, of course, at one point it was an orange dotted line. That's where I'd set my alert. And I'd set my alert for a break of yesterday's high. And that was to be about 12:53. Now, of course, as I said, we did get the alert here at 1186. I did not take it there. I was a little worried that it could just fall again. Obviously, you never know with something as emotional as this. But what I did do, as it was moving up, so here's that original alert, 12, and it as it moved up through 13, I thought, you know what, this looks like it's just got this incredible. Say I'm looking at the short percentage. Like the short float is 40, almost half the float is short this. And in fact, it is increased. It has a 22% increase in short float. So the minute this starts happening, you can rest assured that a lot of these shorts are scrambling. I mean, the ones that were shorting it yesterday or had shorted it previous at 19, they've got to start covering. But I mean, look, if you even shorted, excuse me, I'm sorry, yesterday, and we're maybe thinking of holding it and watching it maybe collapse down through 10, and then all of a sudden this action happens. I mean, this was a classic short squeeze. So, bottom line, I got into this, and luckily, I mean, I got into this. It was moving so quickly. I got in at 13. Actually, it's at 1306, but put a mark here. I got in it right at this level. It's actually 1306. And I immediately, this is within maybe 5 seconds, 10 seconds, I immediately sold some right here at 1349. Well, it says 1348, but that's okay. Sold some here almost immediately. And then it halted. It got halted. I think it got halted at 14, I want to say 1443-ish. And then it opened. Look at this open. 15, I mean, it popped all the way up to 1562. I did not, but it collapsed so quickly. Anyway, bottom line is that I got out at 1468 and 1349, 1468, and 14 on the way down. And, that was a very, very quick trade and super profitable. I mean, and a lot of people in the room, of course, were able to get into this. You had to be quick, though. This is not one that you can call and say, okay, guys, let's wait for a 13 break and see what happens. I mean, you just had to go almost on your gut. But, when you take a look at the short float of 44%, almost half the float was short and increasing. This is basically showing that this was the increased number of shorts. So this short position is increasing. And so when you see this, all of a sudden, these people who are short have to start scrambling. They think, "Oh my gosh, what's going on?" Now, it did collapse again, but it's absolutely one of those ones that you like to get into. A little bit lucky. I was very fortunate, in fact, in getting it in at 1306 because I'm not kidding. This must have in 20 seconds this popped up like that. All right, so that's enough about SRPT. Now let's take a look at TROX. I've been talking about this in the room a little bit. And take a look at the daily. And we're going to back out the daily so you'll see what I'm looking at. And I've got an alert here at 8. And I constantly harp in the room about looking for voids, and this is a classic example. Or I know most people call them gaps. I call them voids. You look at, just let your eyes tell you, is this a good chart or not? Is this something that looks like it could turn around? And if it starts to turn around, I mean, look at the possibilities. I'm not saying it's going to get back up to 20 or back up to 31. I'm not saying that. But even if it gets back up into this area here, that's a tremendous percentage increase. Even if it got up to 10, that's a great percentage increase. So these are the things that we look for, because people are always asking us, why don't you have any swing trades? Why don't you have any trades that are longer than a day? Well, this is what you can look for, and I've got an alert at 8, and if this, I'm not saying it might not happen today. I want to back out the daily so we can see sort of what's happened. All right. So you can see we've had tremendous increase, 658 up to 820. So maybe $1.50 in 4 trading days. So you see it hit a high of 820 yesterday, and it pulled back and it closed here. It tried again this morning to get over 8. But notice the candle is still green. Okay, it looked like it was going to pull back a little bit further, but the buyers are still pretty strong, and they're keeping this up. So I'm saying next week, if this pops over 8, this could have a nice little run to it. Now the other one that we're all watching is eBio. And again, look at the daily here. Now, this was actually Dan Merkin, our CEO. I think he talked about this. This is probably around this area here. And you know, it had a bit of a pullback. Well, it had a pop and then a pullback. But look at the resumption. And I actually said that I may swing this one if it maintains. If it maintains over a dollar, especially over this $1.13, and I'll show you why $1.13 for me was kind of critical. Go back to January the 19th. January the 19th, there's the high. And then it had the big, I mean, first of all, it had the big, horrible day here. And then all the way down to, 23 cents. But look how it's starting to recover. So here again is the void that we're looking at. I mean, I'm not saying that it's going to recover totally, but on a percentage basis, even if it got up to $1.50 or $1.40, that's a tremendous percentage increase. So that's one we're looking at, and we had some fun here with NAOT. What is it doing? Sort of a bit of a horse race. Same kind of animal. I would now be putting, well, it's a little far away, but again, the same sort of void. We were sort of, I actually ran a little survey. Which one did people think was going to finish higher, EBIO or NEOT? And the majority think that it's going to be EBIO. So we'll see. They're within, 5 cents of each other. This has a slightly different look because it has now broken that level. For NEOT, here is a level that it might have to break, but that's almost a double from where it is. So I will still put an alert here. I'm going to put an alert. How easy it's done. See, a little orange line, orange dotted line. If it ever breaks through there, that line is going to turn green. And then look at that void. That could happen. So, but it already has had a great run. So. I may, this is a level here too. I mean, look at all these little highs. Hopefully you can see this. So there's a level too that is interesting to get through. So I might put an alert there also and see what happens if it can get through there. So anyway, those are eBio, NEOT, and definitely TROX, TROX. These are ones that I would watch going forward next week to see what happens with them. And even SRPT, because SRPT still has a gap fill, and if it still has a gap fill right here, so if it holds 14, as long as I've been watching this on Monday, and if it holds this level and starts to move up, I would definitely be watching this one. The other one to keep an eye on for next week too is XON, because I had some negative news yesterday. There's talk that they're going to sue because the company is going to sue the disseminator of that news because they felt it was very biased and basically untrue. So there is a recovery in place right now of it. So I would be watching this one tomorrow or on Monday. Notice how it tried to get through 30 and it just couldn't make it. But if it makes it through 30 on Monday, and there's a nice gap that it can fill also. So that is it. Turned out to be a pretty exciting Friday. So again, hope everybody has a great weekend. This is again the address to get into our room, our free trading room. You do not have to be a member. Again, I'm live 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and this is the link that you can use to take out a subscription. And the promo code until 11:30 tonight is Holly, HOLLY, all in caps, Holly 420, and that is about it. So that's a wrap for a week. Everybody have a great weekend, and we'll see you in the trading room Monday morning. Bye-bye.